Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum. I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV.
And I'm Jacqueline Rixmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. We are excited once again to partner with Medina TV to bring you the 2023 Candidates Forum. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate this year.
Yes, and the views of those candidates are not necessarily those of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce or Medina TV.
Thank you for tuning in to watch our 2023 Candidates Forum. We appreciate your willingness to be informed about the upcoming election.
Joining us now in studio is a candidate for the Medina City School Board of Education, Aaron Hare. Aaron, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Why don't you start off and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Again, my name is Aaron Hare. I've lived in Medina for almost 8 years with my wife, Taylor, who is actually an educator, but in a different district. And my two kids, Brady, who's in 4th grade at Fenn, and Brindley, who is a sophomore here at Medina High School.
Okay. So what made you decide to put your name in the ring and decide to run for the school board?
Yeah, so when we first moved here, I got pretty involved with Medina Youth Lacrosse with my kids. Started out coaching, and then they said, "Why don't you run for board of the Lacrosse Association?" And I said, "Okay, let's do that." And so I ran for board, got elected through the membership, eventually became president of the board, and then just kind of started thinking, what can I do next? I had met with a lot of city leaders and school leaders and collaborated on projects around sports and lacrosse, and we put on a tournament every year and just got to really know those people and think, what can I do more with this? So I joined the school finance committee, which for those of you who don't know, is a committee that you can join just as a citizen of Medina. You don't have to be elected or anything like that. I found that extremely fascinating, and just again thought, what can I do more? And so thought I'd throw my hat in the ring for school board.
Mm-hmm. So for those at home that may not have had the opportunity to watch a school board meeting or really know the operation, kind of explain what the role a school board member plays.
Okay. So the school board member is responsible for hiring the superintendent and the treasurer. All the other hiring decisions are recommended to the board by the superintendent. And they do not, well, the state of Ohio sets the school standards. So the school board just builds the curriculum to meet those standards, choosing vendors and some of the nuances to reach those standards. And then I think they serve as a conduit to the public. It's their way it's the public's way to get their message to the schools, and vice versa. The school board member gets the message out to the public.
Now, there's a lot of issues that the school district's facing right now. Sure. I guess first let's start with the one that is happening regardless, and that's redistricting. Kind of give us your thoughts on the redistricting plan that's out there.
Yeah, so I think it was great that they sent out multiple plans for the community to weigh in on, and I, for one, opted for the one that they're going with, which I believe is the yellow plan. I believe they're calling it. And I think it's great. I think the sooner you get the kids together, the less pressure it is on them when they come to the high school. So the idea of getting them together in 5th and 6th, I think is a great thing for the kids. And I think, fiscally, I think it's a smart idea too, because you have all the resources for those grades in one building. You're not having to fund them in both buildings. So I think it's great. I think it's needed. The edge of Medina is continuing to grow, continuing to be developed, new subdivisions, whereas the core is, a little more established and isn't growing as fast. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that our outer schools would be, bursting at the seams. So we have to realign.
Mm-hmm. And then part of that redistricting, there's some caveats, and that's with the current levy that's on the ballot with the bevy. I just got myself tongue-tied there. With the bond issue mm-hmm. and the operating levy combined on there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I actually had asked, being on the finance committee, I've learned a lot about this, and I asked what was the reason for combining the bond and the levy into one. And they explained a situation that happened in Brunswick where they passed the bond but not the levy. Mm-hmm. And so you were building these buildings that you couldn't really staff, and it puts you into a larger fiscal hole. So I agree that it was wise to combine them. And again, serving on the Finance Committee, I see that there are some fiscal struggles coming down the road without the levy. There would be cuts sizable that would change the way we think of the schools currently operating. And as far as the bond side, I do think we need some new buildings. I mean, Claggett is kind of in disrepair. I mean, there's actually a corner that's sinking down. There's a big gap in the classroom where it has sunk. And my daughter went to Claggett and, attended some classes in trailers, and, that's not really the greatest safety-wise. And I just think we can do better in Medina than that.
So then, of course, if elected to the school board, you're going to face it in November, whether it passes or it fails. So kind of give us your thoughts of what you would do as a board member. Let's start on the passage side. What would you be doing?
I mean, if it passed, we would move forward with the current redistricting plan. We would move forward with the new buildings, Claggett, expanding on Route. There's some turf fields that would go in, some other projects. So we would move forward with the current plan. If the levy were to fail, I think we would have to start educating ourselves as to why. What was it that the community didn't like about the levy, and go from there. I mean, we would probably, the following 6 months later or a year later, we would need to put some sort of levy back on the ballot, whether it be just a renewal of what's existing or a shrunken down version of what's going to be on there in November. But we'd have to start the process of gathering feedback and figuring out what the community wants.
Sure. And you kind of discussed your passion, your desire, why you wanted to run for the school board. What would be something you would like to accomplish if elected to the board during your time on the board?
I don't really have a specific pet project. I think the current board has done a really nice job. I mean, if you look at the state report card, we got a 4.5 out of 5. And I don't necessarily think the state report card is always the best indication of how the school is doing, but it is one tool, and it is a tool that matters a lot to the public and to people moving into the district. So I think they've done a great job. Again, I don't really have some big pet project that I would want to tackle. I'd want to continue a lot of the same.
What are some of the things that excite you about the school district?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, I feel like the school system is the backbone of the community, right? I mean, you can't really go anywhere in this community without knowing that you're a bee. Everything does kind of revolve around the school system. I mean, just go to a football game on the Friday night. I mean, the whole community is always there. It's such a great vibe. And, I just think it's important that we have a strong school system for our students. I mean, number one, I have kids in the district. I need them to come out of here ready for college and ready to be good citizens. And, and let's be honest, it's good for our property values if the school system is performing well.
What are some things that you would like to improve on if elected to the board?
Well, I think we can always improve on communication. I think they have done a nice job being as transparent as they can, but just continuing to expand on that communication. I go to mostly all the board meetings, and I know they're virtual, but there's not usually a lot of people attending them in person. And I'd like to see how we can increase that attendance and get more people speaking at each meeting and giving their opinions.
Well, you tee that up nicely for my next question. I was just getting ready to ask, how do you feel the district does with communications, and how do you think they can improve on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a nice job. I mean, Amy Busby sends out lots of great communications, and I read all of them. I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I do think they do a good job, but again, we just need to encourage engagement, and the more people you get engaged, and the more people you get understanding the issues facing us, the better you have a chance to pass something like a levy.
Well, great. Again, we're speaking with Aaron Hare, a Medina City School Board of Education candidate, and we appreciate you taking the time with us here today to talk to us. You got through the questions I had for you. I want to give you the chance to open the floor and let you talk directly to the voters with anything I might have missed or that you'd like to say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would touch on that there's so many politically divisive issues out there in the country right now, and I don't feel like those issues need to come down to the school board level. I think we're better than that, and we can come together as a community to solve any issues that come up. And I hope that from now until November 7th that I can earn your vote, because it truly is earning your vote.
Perfect, thank you. And again, that's Aaron Hare, the candidate for the Medina City School Board of Education. When you head to the ballot, you will see that there are 3 candidates. 2 of those with the 2 highest votes will be the 2 that are selected for the School Board of Education. So Aaron, I want to thank you for your time today, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
for having me.